Hey everyone, my name's HarryAtomic, and it's finally finished. So as you guys have known over the last couple of weeks, I've been moving house and kind of setting up a new game room / YouTube setup. And it has been slow going, mainly because, I've got a dog to look after, I've got a job as well that I have to do around my own YouTube stuff, but also because I wanted to put in the right amount of time just to make this a room that I'm like super proud of. And I really feel like I've nailed it. So I'll not keep you guys any longer. I know that I've been going on about this game room for so long, but finally we're going to take a game room tour of my Xbox room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the TV. Essentially, if you're going to have an Xbox room, you may as well show off where you're going to play your Xbox. And what I'll do is I'll move like clockwise around the room, mainly because it means we'll get to the shelves last, which I know people want to see most. It's a YouTube trick there. So, starting at the TV, at the moment there's a 32-inch TV here. I haven't got anything bigger, or I haven't upgraded it yet, because I want to get an Xbox One X at the same time and go like full 4K, but at the moment I'm super happy with this setup. I've added some green lights just to make it look like super nice. It looks great on camera, as you can see. At the same time as well, it's really like pleasant to look at. The colors aren't too much because there's the green wall behind it. It doesn't, it's not super overpowering. I've added a few wee bits around it, like there's some Minecraft figures and stuff, because you know, Xbox, Microsoft, Minecraft, sticking to a theme here, guys, you know what I mean? As well as an Amazon Echo Dot, because it has an Xbox like skill that you can teach it. I'll do a video on that in the future. I've never used it. I would love to play with it, especially with my silly accent, and see if like we can control the Xbox with a silly like crazy accent. But as for the actual consoles that are here, not all of my Xboxes are connected up. That would be silly. What I have connected up at the moment is, first and foremost, my Xbox One S. This Xbox One is run through a capture card, mainly just so that I can like record everything that I'm playing. Also, I've got my Xbox 360 reset glitch hack Xbox in there as well. It's probably my most used 360, mainly just because I can install arcade games on it, and I can install games and not have to play them off the disc. It's kind of nice to have them there. Not promoting any piracy or anything like that. I mainly just do it so I don't have to use my discs. I know I have a disc collection, so I don't have to use my discs. Moving on down, we have an Xbox Original Crystal. This doesn't see as much action as I would like. However, if I ever do get the notion to play some Xbox games, I can play them on this nice see-through one. We don't have enough see-through electronics these days. We need to have more see-through electronics. It was like a big thing, like the early 2000s. Everything should be see-through. Let's do that. And then also I have my original, my first ever Xbox 360. This is the one from the story that I told you about, where after my house got broken into, I traded in all my leftovers and got myself an Xbox 360. This is the 360, so I keep it here. I never ever play it. It's not even plugged in. It's there just as a nice little kind of nostalgic wee reminder for me. But yeah, that's the TV setup. I'm super happy with it. There's not like a lot of things going on, but that's kind of the theme of the room. I want to have loads of stuff in here, but I don't want to have it be too imposing. I'll talk about it a bit more later on, because there was some design decisions that went into this room as well, and hopefully they worked. So as decorations around the TV as well, you've got some Master Chief action going on down there. This Master Chief cutout is from the Halo 3 store display whenever Halo 3 was a brand new game. I worked in a toy shop at the time. I worked at like the software counter, and I worked the launch of Halo 3. Whenever we were done, they would just tell you to throw these out, and so I like ripped it down, and like, you know, I took the shelving part off it, but I kept the big Master Chief cutout just because I thought one day I might need it. That was like 11 years ago, I think, and here we are. It finally got used. And then also there's some Minecraft stuff stuck to the wall as well, because it just looks nice. So moving on around, we're going to get to the actual computer itself. This is where I do pretty much all of my work, and I'll go through a desk setup as well, just for anybody that like enjoys computery stuff. I'll not go into like PC specs or anything. I am running a Windows PC, but I do all of my office stuff on a Mac. It's just a nicer laptop to bring around in your backpack, but I do most of my heavy lifting work, like editing and stuff, on a PC, mainly just because I can upgrade it. But as you can see, I've acoustically treated the walls. I haven't quite got the acoustics right on here. There's still a wee bit of echo that I can't quite track down, but it's a far sight better than it was whenever I recorded like that first video where I was just standing against the wall talking about people fighting over Xboxes. But anyways, the Master Chief that's on the ground here as well is from another store display. This was from the big massive window display that said like, buy your Halo 3s here, people, we got the game. game, and yeah, we did in fact have the game, and I took that from that display as well and saved it. So moving on around, explaining the PC setup. As you can see, I love plush stuff. I love looking at like soft things because it just makes me feel nice, especially when you're looking at like industrial, like cold hardware all day. The two stuffed animals are from a local animal sanctuary farm that's close to where I live. And then there's also a Minecraft creeper toy that makes an exploding noise. So onto the actual PC itself, I'm using a Samsung 4K display because video editing you need 4Ks. If you have less or more Ks then it won't work. I have some Behringer Studio monitors that I scraped the Behringer name off because I thought it looked really tacky. I have a Launch Control XL which is actually like MIDI mapped to work with streaming software. I know I haven't streamed in a while, but whenever I was, all of my like scene switching and stuff was done through like this MIDI mapping thing. It's insanely complicated. It took me way too long. It involves like some third-party software on the computer, but it works great when I'm actually streaming. I use a Cherry MX Blue switches because I love me some clicky-clacky awesomeness. I know some people use reds, but I don't really care about the noise. I want it to be as loud as possible. This keyboard has woken people up in the middle of the night. It's that loud. I love it so much. For my mouse, I'm using a Razer Naga, mainly because it lights up green and it's got buttons on the side. And also on the side, I have arm mounted a Blue Yeti with a little foam hat because why not? The Yeti might get cold. So yeah, that's the PC setup. I absolutely love my like Wii computer setup. It's so comfortable to work at. It's so spacious looking. I don't feel like I'm like crunched in. There's not like screens and hardware everywhere. I used to be like a multi-screen guy, but now I just like having like one screen and like a nice tidy setup. But yeah, let's move on. Swinging on around the room, there is a built-in closet which is fantastic for keeping all of my camera stuff and all of my extra gear, but it is a mess. It will always be a mess. It will never not be a mess. It's also sound treated because of course it is. Moving on around the room, I have two Left 4 Dead posters because Left 4 Dead is love and life. I just can't get enough of that game and I love these posters. Back whenever Valve were selling like, and maybe they still do, they were selling poster packs on their website. I bought these two because they were my two favorite campaigns. So I framed them and stuck them on the wall. They've been in like 6 houses of mine now. I have an Xbox Live Orange couch, which is not actually Xbox Live Orange, but I tell myself that. And so now we swing around to la creme de la creme of the room, the centerpiece, the part that most people tend to ask a lot of questions about, and that is the shelves themselves. Now what I'll do is, I mean, you can see some lovely glamour shots here of the shelves themselves, but I'm gonna go through the reasons why that I set up these shelves the way they were, and the reason why it took me so long to actually put this room together. The last game room that I was in, I don't know if people have been watching the channel that long, but the last game room I was in just had 3 black shelves, 3 sets of like just black shelves, which I know a lot of people use black furniture in their game rooms. And it was just filled with games, like nothing but games, and then the TV just had consoles everywhere underneath it. And I felt that didn't really create like a welcoming environment. Like ultimately, yes, I do videos on here and this is to be shown off and look nice, but ultimately I spend most of my time in this room. This is where like 99% of the time that I have not on camera is spent in here doing stuff, so I want it to be super inviting just to go on, not from a video perspective but just from a hangout perspective. So I chose white furniture throughout the entire room because white furniture will make it seem a lot brighter, whereas black furniture just makes things very dark, and game rooms just look very basement-like, very dark and grim. So I wanted it to look very bright. I also wanted to not have the shelves be so looming and so imposing, because black shelves are just literally like a tower of games, and that just looks so imposing. Plus, if all those shelves are connected together, then it makes the room look smaller because you can't see the wall. So that's the reason why if you look behind me, you can see there's gaps between the shelves so that you can see the green coming through from the wall behind it, and it makes the room still look that wee bit bigger. So now it looks way less imposing. The other reason why it took me so long was because I wanted to get the shelf set up correctly. As you probably noticed behind me, it's not just a wall of games. There's some box stuff, there's some Fallout stuff, it's all Xbox related, so it all fits the theme, but mainly what it is that it's not just a massive library of games. There is enough room here to fit a full 360 set once I actually get that far, but for now it's super wide wide open. There's tons of space on it. It looks like a room of someone that enjoys Xbox, not just a room of a guy that has a lot of Xbox games, if that makes sense. So in this setup, the games are almost secondary. But yeah, anyways, on to the actual shelves themselves. Let's take a look at what's on them. So what I'll do is I'll scan down the shelves from top to bottom, and I'll freeze frame if I need to, just to talk about a few things. So if it looks a bit stuttery, that's the reason why. So starting at the left shelf, on the top, there's an exit sign. It's the only like non-Xbox thing, I think, on these shelves, or non-Microsoft related thing on these shelves, mainly just because it fit the room's color scheme, and I found it while I was out at a flea market, and some guy only charged me like £2 for it. On the top shelf is all the Fallout stuff that I've acquired from, I'd say, just the release of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. That's where I got the 2 bobbleheads, so I thought that just made like a nice display. So moving on down, we've got games, more games. I try to keep these things in alphabetical order, and I can just add more if I need to. Because it's not a wall of games, it'll be much easier to maintain. So as we move on down, we get to our first consoles. You can see an Xbox Slim. To the next shelf down, you can see an Xbox E and an original Xbox. There's also some accessories littered about as well, so you can see a Kinect, you can see the chat pad, the quick charge kit, and then on the bottom there's a Creeper Anatomy that I got for my birthday one year from my sisters. So on to the next shelf. As you can see, the top 3 rows are just all games. Then we have the Seen It trivia box. There is an Xbox Arcade with the memory card and all that stuff. I think it just looks like super nostalgic, just sitting there with the wee memory card popping out and all. We also have Diamond Steve, Minecraft Steve Diamond Edition. And then as we move on down, we've got more games, and on the bottom shelf there is another Xbox. The pin that's on the top of it is because the disk drive is broken, and it used to be my main Xbox, so I taped like a wee pin on the top so that I could eject the disc. There's like a wee hole that you can put a pin in to like force eject the disc. And then there's a DJ Hero controller because DJ Hero was actually good. So moving on round, again, this is gonna be really similar to the last one. There is rows of games. Then there is the Creeper figure. It is from the same line of figures as Minecraft Steve, so I think that they look really nice, kind of like side by side on different shelves, kind of like the creepers all hiding, like when they go pow and pop on Steve. Then we have a slightly yellowed Xbox 360 fat model, or Xbox 360 thick, as it has been referred to in the past. So moving on down, we've got games, and then there is the original Xbox games. These are the only OG Xbox games that I own. I haven't focused a lot of time into my OG Xbox collection. Anyways, on the bottom shelf, we have my Xbox One Day 1 2013 edition in the box, because yeah, it looks super sleek in its wee black box, but it's super massive, so it goes on the bottom shelf. Then onto the last shelf. This takes us full circle now around the room. On the top shelf, I just have some boxes for my accessories. My Lunar White controller, which is the main controller that I use. I love the wee gold accents. It's just so cool looking. There's the box for the playing charge kit. There's the box for the TV tuner, because I found one like on clearance for like £2, and I thought, of course, I'm gonna buy it. Why not? And then there's also the wireless adapter for Windows box. I just think that these boxes look really nice. They're just, I love that uniform design, so they just look all nice, all lined up. Next shelf down, we have more games. Then the one below that, there is 2 Xbox 360 controllers. There is a Kinect for Xbox One, and there's also 2 of the same Minecraft book, because I bought it twice. Below that shelf is Starlink. So below that, we have my Xbox One games. This is the slowest growing collection of Xbox stuff, mainly because it's the newest, so it's the most expensive, and I don't like paying full price for my games, because, you know, because you can't maintain a collection of any form of magnitude while paying like retail price for games, unless you're insanely rich. My goodness, I would love to be in that position. And then there's just some spare 360 stuff. These are just like some stuff that I haven't tested yet or whatever. They'll just sit on this wee section, and I'll test them and then file them away. So below that is my Pip-Boy box and my U-Draw tablet. I have never used the U-Draw tablet. I actually think that one needs repaired. And as well, then on the bottom shelf, you have Lego Dimensions starter kit, which I got on like clearance from a local supermarket when I was in buying my groceries. You should always keep your eye out for deals. You never know, whenever a good deal will just kind of pop up and hit you when you're shopping for parsnips. And then the stack down here is all my doubles. It's pretty common to come across doubles whenever you're buying bulk lots of games. In fact, I would say that you'd be very lucky to buy a bulk lot of games and not get a double on it. So I haven't tested all of these either. I will have to go through and test them all. But yeah, they're just sitting there doing nothing. So I'd have to think of something interesting to do with all my doubles. because I don't even think I would be worth my time selling them, if I'm being completely honest, because I just don't have the time. So yeah, if you have any interesting ideas as to what I should do with my doubles of my games, let me know down in the comments, because they're just taking up shelf space. And this place is starting to get quite full. And then the only other part of the room that I haven't talked about yet is the coffee table. It's just a white coffee table. It has all my games on it. It's sitting on a nice, lovely, like, green mat. And then underneath it, there's just some tubs with some useful cables, like playing charge kits, phone chargers, micro USB cables. Just typical sort of like everyday cable stuff is all just kept away nicely in those. So yeah, it just keeps the room nice and neat. So there you have it. That's the Xbox game room. I hope that this lived up to the expectations. I know I've been talking about this for a while and people have been asking me for it. So I hope that this room lives up to the hype that I've been sort of giving it over the last while. Ultimately, it's a super relaxing place to hang out. I love working in this room. I love coming up with videos in here. I love filming in here. It's the room that if I could go back like 10 years ago and like show myself a photograph of it, I know I would just be super happy knowing that it's in my future. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed like this wee tour. Some people were asking me as well to see all my non-Xbox stuff. I know it looks like I just completely drool over Xbox all day, which I'm standing in an Xbox room. I suppose that's partly true, but there is a lot of non-Xbox related stuff that I have as well. So if you guys want, I know that some people have been asking, but if you still want it, I will happily go through all of that stuff as well. I can do another game room tour, if not next week, definitely the week after, because they take a wee bit of time to put together. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please consider getting subscribed to the channel. We do Xbox stuff all the time on here. We just love Xbox. It's just so good. Oh, I can't get enough of it. I do 3 videos every single week. On Mondays, we do videos like this where we just do random Xbox stuff. We just take a look at Xbox things, stuff in general, really. Wednesdays is community day, where I take something that you leave me in the comments down below and make a video on it. So if you have any suggestions for anything you'd like to see on the channel, let me know and it'll get turned into a Wednesday video. And on Saturdays, I also do Xbox news, where we stay up to date on all of the week's Xbox news. So I want to say thanks again. If you've any questions about the game room or you've any suggestions or anything, just leave me a comment down below and we'll chat about it. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.